We're kind of going from a ground-up approach to looking at basic jujutsu and how Chinese internal strength kind of informs it and works with it. So we're going to just start with this notion of turn all the way to one side, and you hit a point where you can't, just hold it for a moment. Feel kind of a stretch? Yeah? No? Yeah? Good. All right, come back to center. Turn the other direction. Once you feel a point, hold it. All right, and release that. Now just go side to side and let your arms kind of flop. Still feeling that stretch? Yes? Good. So, what you're doing when you do this is you're opening the body all the way to one side. Okay? Opening it to the other side. That notion of opening the body is important. And now we're going to flip it a little bit. So we just come back to center. Now we're going to do something where that's opening on the body on one side. Now we're going to open the body on both sides at the same time. And that's just stretch, go ahead and get a little bit of a lean back. Let your hands open, fingers kind of stretch out and reach. You should feel a stretch. Try not to lean back so much. Keep your head, your chin kind of forward a bit, but just stretch. And now, release it. Good. Again, open. Stretch it. You guys feel that stretch all the way through your body? Good. And release it. Now here's what I'm going to try as you do this next stretch. Push from your feet up through your body as you stretch. Okay? Get a strong root in your legs as you stretch. And now release it. Push again. Push through as you stretch. And release it. Good. Now we're going to close the body. So when we did this big opening, when we released it, we actually are closing the body, even if you're not thinking of that. Okay? Big open, close the body. Just as like as we opened on both sides of the body, now we're going to close on both sides of the body. And try not to bend forward. Yeah, right? Just that much. Just close and stretch the fingers out in front of you. And then push and release it. And again, starting from the feet, close the body and just stretch the fingers out in front of you. Release it. One thing I want you to try not to do is flex the shoulders, flex the arms. It's just, right? And release it. Now we're going to open and close. Open, close. Open the body, close it. 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 Now we're going to make a big open the body and bring your arms up. And close the body, bring your arms up. Open the body, bring your arms up. Close it, bring it down. Open, bring it up. Close it, bring it down. Open, bring it up. Close it, bring it down. Open up, close it down. Good. Did you feel that same stretch all the way through your body when you're doing that the whole time? If you didn't, try and get this sense when you open up here, when you open back here, stretch. Even here, stretch. Stretch, stretch. We're going to come back to this. The next thing I want to talk to you guys about is this notion of intention managing where, let's see, there's two things that are acting with you at all times. The ground is pushing you up. Anyone disagree? Does everyone agree? Yeah. Ground is always pushing you up. Gravity is always pulling you down. Does everyone agree with that? Okay?
They better.
Yeah, right? Because it's not. The Air Force guys should know especially something's going to happen. When you do that stretch, you're pushing against the solidity of the ground while trying to relax with gravity pulling you down. Right? It's not a simple thing, but that's a thing I want you to think about because we're also going to talk about how to manage where those forces kind of meet inside you. Open, close. Let's just do a few of these together. Open, close. Open, close. Open, close. Open, close. Switch your feet. Good. Yeah. So when I open, I'm actually pushing with the legs up through. And when I close, this part, because we all established it, gravity is our friend, right? So this part is going to let this relaxed upper body part with gravity go down. Okay? is that open Taikyoku is a classic open close, right? The technique is Ikyo. So, based on Indian and Chinese historical studies of anatomy, this open and close was long ago decided as the most efficient way to move and generate force within the body. The reason being is that, again, upper body relaxes, so it's not trying to generate any power. Lower body is pushing off the solidity of the ground. And this stuff that's all connected together uses the elasticity inherent in that sinewy tendon stretchiness to snap. And so it's less of a karate kind of thing and more of a rubber band. Okay? So as you practice open and closing, and you breathe, everyone just open and breathe real quick. Breathe in. Do you feel a stretch? Does that add to your stretch? What that also does is help connect your insides so that when you open and close more, breathe out. Now when you breathe in, push your middle against the ground as you breathe in. Do you feel not only that stretch on the inside, but your feet pushing hard against the ground without you actually having to push your feet against the ground? Breathe out, push your middle against the ground. Do you feel that still pressure remaining in your middle and your feet still rooted in the ground without having to push against the ground? What you're feeling is the body connecting and making use of a very kind of natural vector of ground gravity power nexus. And that's why they always talk about use your center. Sometimes it's the core for raw strength. Sometimes it's the kidneys, because if it's a breath thing, that moves first, but it's not really the kidneys doing it, it's just that direction of your middle. Sometimes it's your danchin, which is the front, pushing against the ground to do something. All those things just basically mean breathe into your feet, stretch, use the middle to balance the two forces coming together, and then release that in the direction you want to go, while mentally thinking you're under. Easy, right? That's kind of the simple principle that this is all predicated on. There's other stuff too, but for the purposes of you guys getting kind of like exposed to this, until you can relax that upper body, connect the body together, and balance both the conditioning of the connecting the body and the skill of managing them as a single unit, you don't have to worry about anything else for a while. Now, when I say that, this is open source, this is like, for some of you this is adjunct, you already have a main style, great. Take what's useful, like Bruce used to say, cast away what isn't. What I will say is, for the purposes of those that make this their main study, all of what I'm telling you right now is crucial for the beginning. You can't skip this part. So if you want to get to the fun power release and where did that come from, you can't skip this part. Those of you really have a method of power generation or elasticity, it might be a nice additive, and use it as that. All right, enough talking for the moment. So Taikyoku is up, down, it's open and closed. We're now going to talk about side to side, open and closed. Side to side is this, still open and closed, right? And what does this start to become? A hook, an elbow. But what is my body still doing? Open and closing, right? Now here's a fun fact. When you're going side to side, one side of the body is closing. What does the other side of the body do? So when you open and close at the same time, you're creating additional stretch, elasticity, and therefore available power.
2, 3.
Yeah. So let's just practice. We're gonna actually make this very kind of basic. So as you hook or elbow or whichever preference you have on the right, you push from the right foot into the left foot so that you are actually planted on the left foot and go back and forth from foot to foot. In real life, you probably wouldn't fully plant that way, but for the purposes of this drill, what you're also doing is you're dropping your middle into each foot. So, if you think about the kind of cosmology I just laid out, dropping the middle of your foot means that you're bouncing your power into the power of the ground and reflecting it back out into the other person. And a brief pause. You recall the first exercise we're doing? stretch, stretch. Try and have that in here. Stretch, stretch, because that stretch gives you additional juice. The last thing I'll kind of caution you, if you're throwing the elbow, try not, and I don't know how much this will conflict with your thing, but try not to throw it straight across, rather go an angle. Okay, so that is Nikyoku, the second theme. Taikyoku is great themes. Ikkyoku is the first theme up and down. Nikyoku is the second theme, side to side, or vertical versus horizontal. So it's both skill and condition. The skill part is the intention as it relates to making changes in your body. The conditioning is the stretching and breathing and doing actually the work to connect and strengthen those connections so that over time, a little bit of change in intention results in a lot more change physically. So we have up, down, side, side. Now we're going to talk about spiraling. And so the third theme is going to be spiraling up. And we're going to practice it like this. What does this kind of remind us of?
Uppercut.
Yeah.
Now you going up. I'm going up, side to side.
I'm actually thinking launch the side I'm throwing a punch with my open. Wham!
Right. So whipping it from the floor.
And what's the other side doing that's not open?
Close.
Yeah.
Like that?
And then make it smooth. Don't worry about power, just make it smooth. Now we're going to do this open-handed. And the way we're going to do it open-handed is the hand that's doing the uppercut is striking with the palm. The other hand that's going down is gripping and pulling down and in. The next one, who wants to guess what the next Taikyoku is? And that one's called Sankyo, we just did.
Spiral down.
Yeah! And that's Yankyoku. And this is one of my favorites. There is a technique for Yankyoku, or it's called Yankyo, which the technique is not necessarily my favorite because of the way it's often taught. So, our spiraling down looks like this, cutting down the inside of our leg. It's also something else, but we'll talk about that in a minute. A way I like to think of this, for our military friends that learned knife combat, is pretend you have a knife and you're cutting down the inside of the artery in the leg.
All right.
And you're just opening that up. That's about how much pressure and how close you want to be, while maintaining a good back posture. Okay, so first one's up, down, Ikkyoku. Second one's side to side, Ikkyoku. Third one's spiraling up, Sankyoku. Fourth one's spiraling down, Yankyoku. Fifth one is Gokyoku, to a point in space. And it really is, you're going to ride Gokyoku through every other one. It's the point of space of impact. We started it already with our entry. Okay? So I'm going to show you a specific drill that's about opening, closing, creating pressure in the body, and moving and releasing that. Okay? So the way we're going to learn this, is a little bit different than how we do it. Open, close, bring the body together. You almost want to use, so use your legs to squeeze your hands together, if that makes sense, because they're connected, right? Once you're fully closed, you're basically going to slide the right foot forward, the right fist comes out. Okay? want to do the left foot forward and the left fist out. Open, close. Good. Open, close.
So you're inhaling on the close?
Inhale on the open, exhale on the close.
And then inhale again.
Inhale on the step through. And then breathe, inhale and breathe out as you step through. So, inhale, then exhale as you step out.
That's it.
Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. I actually don't have to inhale and exhale again when I release. That's still part of my exhale. Because I'm keeping pressure in there, and I'm releasing the pressure with the breath. Does that mean anything? Because my upper body is relaxed enough to convey the force my lower body is generating, it transmits into him. And because my middle is conditioned and articulate enough to push against the ground and reflect that leg action into my upper body, they all work together to achieve that effect.
Now, when you close, I noticed that your toes did this moment when you were going into that ground.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's completely fair to grip with your toes. You're not going to see me doing this a lot unless I'm conditioning. Because I can stretch the insides by doing that. If you do that and raise the foot, you'll feel how the tendons and fascia in the back of your leg pull. You can actually use that to generate power.